welcome to Makers Monday. I'm Mary Rooney, Prop Master at Arizona Broadway Theater, and today is week 5, can you believe it, of crafting on Makers Monday. Today we're going to do a sort of a historical piece. It's a Victorian paper puzzle. These were very popular for Valentine's and Mother's Day and Christmas, and they were little handmade messages like this one. Little packet, paper packet. It would have a message on the outside, and this side would be unfolded, and usually they would have a heart, some notes on there maybe, and the giver would give it to someone and the receiver would open it. And each time they opened it, one little corner would peek out and have another note on it. Each note would have a little, like a little love note, a little word, a little part of a poem. And then you could open it again and fold out. And there'd be all kinds of, the main message would be in the middle. And then all kinds of little things decorated. And if I turn this around, this one was all just hand doodled by me. If I turn this one around, it has kind of a quilt-like design, doesn't it? With each corner. And in the middle, this one said, love each other. And so that was a little Victorian paper puzzle. Here's another one. This one, I think if we have time, we'll make this one. I thought this would be good for teachers. On the outside, there's some sort of school paper, and it says, we can do hard things, which I think teachers are probably saying that to themselves and to their students as school wraps up for the summer. You'd open it. There's a heart on this one too. Open it up. What does it say? Teacher, friend, helper, mentor. Again, got some more words. Thank you. This one kind of looks like a pinwheel with the decorations that I did. And it says, thank you for doing hard things and helping us do the same. So I'm going to show you how to fold these today and decorate them. The main goal is to kind of keep everything symmetrical. If you put something in this corner, you'll put it in the same corner all the way around. So it looks like it continually goes and it's symmetrical, which means that it's even on all sides. All right, let's try to fold a Victorian paper puzzle today. Okay, to fold your Victorian paper puzzle, you'll need a square sheet of paper, and we are going to fold everything first and then we'll decorate it. So I use a 7.5 by a 7.5 piece of paper that's in inches. I cut it from just a regular old piece of copy paper. You want to find a measurement that will divide in 3 evenly, because the first step for folding, like this teacher thank you, is that you're going to fold in even thirds. So 7.5 inches divides 3 times and into kind of an easy number to measure, and that's 2.5 inches. You could also do a 6-inch square, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that would be 2 inches in sections of 2 inches. You could also do a 9-inch piece of paper, 9-inch square. It's a little bit harder to find a piece of paper that is that wide, but that would be divided by 3, and that would be 3-inch sections. When I talk about sections, I'm talking about each section. This one is 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches, and 2.5 inches. So we're going to mark that. I've got it measured. My 0 is right here on my ruler. There's a little bit of space, so I'm going to make sure it's right on 0. I'm going to put a little pencil mark at 2.5, and again at 5 inches, because 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5. 5 plus 2.5 is 7.5. Now we're going to do all 4 edges of your paper. Just a little mark, because that's where we're going to do our first fold, so we want to mark. If you need to, you could do a whole line down the paper, but I don't think you need to. You do need to be accurate as you're folding. But with practice, you can just do it with these little marks. Okay? 5 and 2.5. I've got all 4 edges marked. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, so when I fold it toward the middle, I'm looking for my little pencil marks. I'm also looking to line up this edge really nicely, looking as I fold it to, there's 2 pieces of paper here, I feel like. It's really thick for some reason. Well, there's my other mark. Looking at the edge here, creasing it, and then I'm taking a ruler. You could take a popsicle stick, and I'm just helping that crease a little by pushing it. Open it to the other side. We've got our little mark here. I'm looking for it as I fold. And then I want to mark and end, or just make sure my lining up here is good. Looking for my little pencil mark. That's all even. Squish it down. Okay, now we're gonna do this way. Looking for my mark, evening it out, squishing it down. Another way you can look at it is these creases right here should all line up. That means you're on the right track to a nice, precise fold. You do need them precise so that the whole puzzle can fold up nicely. One more. All right, I've got this one. I've got my creases lined up. I can see my other little mark. Squishing that. Okay. You can see that we have squares now, all the same. Now we're going to fold it corner to corner. So make sure you got your nice little corner here. Squish it down. Zip and a zip. Next one, corner to corner again. Ooh, that one didn't look like it matched up too well. Might have to fix that one. If the corners are having trouble matching up, it might be that the paper isn't exactly square. There we go. All right, now we are going to, this is the tricky part. You see where these 2 squares meet right here? You're gonna fold this corner up to that section. Okay. And then you open it. Now I'm gonna do this corner up to where that corner, if you look at this, this is a square. It's forming a square. We're going down to the bottom corner of the square. Folding it. So you do that to all 4 corners. Put that up there. It's going to take a little practice, this next section. Once we get it folded, now we're going to flip it. So everything so far has all been what they call valley folds when you're doing origami. Everything's been folding in. Now we're going to flip it. And these corners again that go to these squares, we're just gonna refold them backwards. So they're really good and creased both ways. Okay, we got this one. There's number 3. All right, and then turn it back around. Okay, here's the tricky part. You're gonna pinch all your corners together and start just pushing it in as you're pinching, almost like you're making a bowl. And then what I do is I kind of twist it, and sometimes if you're really lucky, it just starts falling into place. Look at that, almost there. And it just curls, then you can really flatten it out again into sort of a pinwheel. So let's look at what happened, because this is the hard part for me too. It took me a long time to practice doing this. So you've got your corners. That's easy to pinch. Once you do it once, it's gonna fall into place all the time. But if you notice where see how this square between the corners wants to fold this way? So if I'm holding it like a bowl, my square is folding down. Really hard to kind of explain it and practice it, because all of a sudden it'll be magic and it'll just flatten for you. But that's going to be your hardest thing is, you know, it's just folding it down. Okay, I'm sure there's an easier way to figure out how to explain that, but I like the magic part of it. Now you're going to take your edges, your corners, and fold them up. Okay. And your last corner, you're going to just tuck in. There we go. So, this is our paper puzzle that we're going to decorate now. So if you notice, I mean, one thing that I'm going to do for this one is show you where all the pieces are. There's a heart. Let's see if I can draw one upside down. Okay. All right, so that's the heart that your friend gets to see. Can you see that one okay? And over on the back will be a message, like to my friend. I'll just put to here. Okay. When they open it, okay, these four corners can have something pretty much the same, or a word. So I'll just give you that kind of. Okay, and even this one could have some sort of symmetrical little design. Use some arrows here. These could be words. Okay, some sort of design. Now, when your friend opens completely, then their whole message, you could do a little poem, anything you want here in this big square. Okay, you can decorate it all up. It's framing a little message. And then all of these sections can be decorated differently. I like to take the corners and maybe do a big, you know, design on the corners, all the same. I'm just kind of marking where you can add some designs. And then all of this is going to be kind of folded in, so you could do, you know, a word, a word, a word, a word. And these could be decorated, maybe to match each other. Okay. So I hope that you're getting the idea of where you can decorate things. So let's look, and now turn it over. And you still have sections you can decorate here if you want to. If you remember this one, see, I did triangles, I did squares. There's my main message. On the opposite side, I did these little first notes. I did some more drawing. And then as you fold it, see, it's going to be really easy to fold the more you fold it up. Look at how fast that just goes. And then I have to look, because once you color the heart at the end, you need to figure out how it goes together so it looks like the heart is done. And then we've got the heart. Okay. So now we've got this teacher one. Let's see. I'm going to gather my supplies and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my folded paper pocket, paper puzzle. And basically, I won't do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you little tricks that you can do. The thing with gluing paper, like our teacher thank you, I did this on notebook paper because I knew I was going to add another layer of scrapbooking paper. So I wanted to find some thin paper to fold first. That's what I would recommend if you're going to do any gluing on of scrapbook paper. Try to find your thinnest notebook or copy paper to fold first so it doesn't get too thick and cumbersome when you add the second layers. If you are just going to draw or write or color onto your paper puzzle, you could even do a two-sided scrapbooking paper like this. This is a lot thicker, but it works the same way, and that's kind of cool, nice looking. All right, but for this teacher one, go ahead and make it out of notebook paper. Also with these words, I just went on my computer on my Word program and typed up a sheet of just random words that I liked. You could type up a poem, little messages here. So I just typed, I used a font that looks like a typewriter. But again, you can handwrite your messages in your paper puzzle as well. One good thing about this is that it only takes a glue stick. This one is a extra strength glue stick, but you don't need that. So basically, I start on the back and I just, what's the back one? It was, we can do hard things. So I took a piece of the scrapbooking paper and I cut these a 1/2 inch smaller than my sections. So this, remember, was 2.5. So I cut 2-inch squares. So I had a little bit of white space around it. But if you notice with the map one, I cut the scrapbooking paper 2.5 inches. So it went right up to the edge. All right, all kinds of different design possibilities there. And then I kind of just either have a little scrap piece here, put your paper down on it, and just try to get the glue all over it. Put it down. Try to center it if you can, if you like that. And same thing with your message. I have it all cut out already. If the pieces are pretty small, you can sort of just hold the paper over the glue stick. No doubt if you're like me, you'll get sticky fingers no matter which way you do it, because I'm a kind of a sticky finger kind of person. And then you just stick that on there. Opening it. What I did was I cut a little heart. You can do this if you want to. And all I did was I laid it where I wanted it to be. And then I marked where I'm going to cut it. All right, and then I just took my ruler, connected the line so I had a nice straight cut. I'm just going to show you real quick. So you'll have to make a little X. And then you would cut these pieces out and then place them just like a little puzzle, because that's what it is. And glue each section. If you can see how I did it here, let me refold it. Okay, each little piece of the heart. Top, bottom, side, and side. And then you just be creative. You know, if you want, you can cut these. These were a square. I cut 2" by 2" square, and then I cut it in half, exactly in half. And that gave me my little triangles. All right, gluing it on. You can glue your words. Same thing in here. So basically that's it. You're just figuring out your design, where you want everything, and using your glue stick to glue on your words. Pretty simple. If you want, you can also, oh, I see what I did here is I just added a little bit of rubber stamping ink and then rubbed it off with a paper towel so it was dry. Same with here. I tried to do a little design with my rubber stamping ink, like these little spongy things. These come out, they're kind of cool that way. And then you can dab it on. You can make little designs, but this particular ink stays pretty wet, so you would want to rub it off with a paper towel or just rub it in with another piece of paper to make it dry. You could use chalk, markers, watercolors, anything you want to color your paper. I'll show you the doodled. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Zen Doodle, but this is what this was. I just looked online for different patterns that you could doodle, and I just did all kinds of them. All right, there's all kinds of, and they all have their own little names. So it's kind of fun. So that is Victorian paper puzzles. I hope you leave some ideas in the comments section. And until next week and our next Makers Monday, this is Mary Rooney, Prop Master from Arizona Broadway Theater. Have a great crafty week, you guys. See you next time.